Laker fans, I think it's safe to say we might have just reached an all-time low for this season after what we just watched, which was technically a basketball game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 109-80. Yeah, you heard that right. 80 points in today's NBA. This is not 1965. This is 2024, and the Lakers scored 80 points in 48 minutes in a lowly back-to-back performance against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And on top of that, we have some rumors today of the Lakers potentially looking to upgrade this roster. And if we notice anything from tonight's game and how the Lakers have been playing, losing 4 out of their last 6 games, I believe, there is some changes that need to be made if they want to get their season right back on track. And this move potentially to land Jonas Valanciunas, a player who has been linked to the Lakers for quite some time, but we have a new update regarding him, might be the move that will ultimately help the Lakers get back their season and get back on track. Welcome to Lakers Digest, though. My name is Hunter Pitcoff, where we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. If you haven't already, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know the Lakers did not bring their A game tonight, but I promise you here, we bring our A game every single video that we do. But all of you guys that watch, 85% of you are not subscribed. You guys probably don't even comment, or you might not even like the video. So stop what you're doing right now. Subscribe to the channel before we get into today's video, which is the Lakers linked to an elite center, quote-unquote, more of an elite backup center, but Jonas Valanciunas for the Washington Wizards. We know that the interest has been high for him since the offseason, where the Lakers were willing to use the mid-level exception to land Valanciunas from the New Orleans Pelicans. However, he ends up going to Washington in a sign-in trade for 3 years, $30 million. And the Lakers have potentially the picks and the salary to ultimately move and get him. And this was a report that came out today from Mike Scotto of Hoops Hypes, the popular basketball publication. He said the Lakers are among the teams with the most diligent interest in trying to acquire Valanciunas, league sources told Hoops Hype. And also we said, too, in his article that Vincent has been a disappointment for the Lakers since signing a 3-year, $33 million deal, which was last offseason, guys, back in 2023. Due to injuries and 2023, I'm getting that right. Due to injuries and inefficient shooting, LA will look to include him as a salary filler with draft pick compensation and trade talks. Keep an eye on the Lakers potentially dangling Vincent and future second-round picks to try to land Valanciunas, a coveted Lakers target. So, what do we think about this move, guys? Because clearly, what we have seen from the Lakers this season is a common thread. They are, one, extremely reliant on Anthony Davis when he does not bring it, which is pretty rare, but this was a game where he did not bring his best, although you can argue just about every Laker, maybe outside of D'Lo on the ticker there, brought their best, their A game today. When he's not playing well, which again is rare, or if he's not playing and he's hurt potentially, two things that have been pretty rare for Anthony Davis this season. He's played all but one game, and he's been healthy, dealing with a foot injury, but he's playing every night, and he's averaging MVP caliber numbers. Can they get another backup big? Can they get somebody else to fill the void either next to Anthony Davis or to relieve him of minutes? And Jonas Valanciunas is a cheap option that makes a lot of sense. Looking at his numbers this season, guys, just to help paint the picture for you. 12 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, shoots the ball. Not a great three-point percentage, but I believe he's averaging just about 25 minutes a game for the Washington Wizards. And to me, Valanciunas, this is someone who can average those numbers even on a good basketball team. The Wizards are not a very good team. He can go to a team like the Lakers, fill that role. He provides really good rebounding. He's been one of the better rebounders in the NBA since he's been in the NBA over the last decade plus. 32 years old, you know what you're getting out of him. He's played for good basketball teams like the Raptors in their heyday, like the Pelicans outside of, what we've seen this season with all their injuries. But Washington sucks. I was surprised he landed there in the first place. I'm surprised the Lakers couldn't get him, but it was a sign-in trade. And so Valanciunas gets his money, probably cheaper than what the Lakers would have paid for him. And the Lakers, since they are a second-tier apron tax team, they have to trade Gabe Vincent or trade more salary than what they're getting back. Gabe Vincent's on a 3-year, $33 million deal. so he's making more money. And the Washington Wizards, they can take on that salary because it's not that much money. Plus, they really just want draft picks. And they're able to get 2 second-rounders for Valanciunas in this one. Something is better than nothing. There will probably be other teams interested in Jonas, but I do think he'd be a really nice fit for this team. He's a great rebounder, a good low post scorer, and God forbid if something happens to Anthony Davis, he's at least a respectable big man that you can have in your rotation. Or if depending on the matchup, right, you're going up against a team like the Denver Nuggets who have a great big man, the Sixers when they're healthy with Embiid. You can play both these guys together because Valanciunas can play your 5. We know Anthony Davis is more than skilled enough to play your 4. And Jackson Hayes and Christian Koloko right now, guys, is not cutting it. We don't know when Jackson's going to be back. It's going to be a few weeks with that ankle injury. He re-aggravated it again earlier last week. And honestly, even if he is healthy, I just don't really think he's your answer. A big bruiser like a Dwight Howard is someone who has made a lot of sense next to Anthony Davis. And and DeMarcus Cousins, not that Valanciunas is anywhere near what DeMarcus Cousins was in his prime next to AD, but he's at least could be a very respectable big man that you can play. And I know he's a little bit matchup dependent, but again, you have Anthony Davis. You don't need an amazing center to play next to him. You just need somebody who's good enough. And I think Valanciunas could be good enough. But here's really the big question that I want to ask you guys as well, and let me know down in the comments what you think. How desperate are the Lakers? This was a horrible loss. And like I said, it's not necessarily just a one-off. Yes, this is the worst game that they've played probably all season, but they have not been playing good basketball, and they've been very inconsistent yet again, and I guess you can't blame Darvin Ham for that one. They started off 3-0, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves on opening night, looking really good in that game. They won their first 3, then they had a road trip, lost 4 out of 5, then they won 6 in a row. They ended up being, if my math is correct there, 10-4 at that point, and now they've fallen to 12-9. So they have only won 2 out of their last 7 or 2. They're 2-7 in their last 9 games. And my math is correct there, guys. I know it's a little bit on the fly through 21 games. That's not great. They were in 6th in the West entering this game against the Timberwolves. They're going to probably float between 6 and 8, but there's a lot of teams that are rolling right now. The Thunder look like easily the best team in the West, although they did just lose to Houston, who has also looked really good this year. Both very young teams. Memphis is very young. They're on a nice win streak right now, and they've played really good basketball since they ironically lost to the Lakers. John Morant's back for them, and they'll only get healthier when Desmond Bane eventually comes back. Clippers are playing well with James Harden there, even though they have not had Kawhi Leonard all season long. The Nuggets are the Nuggets. They're always going to consistently be toward the top. The West is loaded. There are about 10, 11 teams. Even I saw Portland's not that far off either, that are competing to make at least a play-in, yet along the top 6 seeds and to advance automatically to the playoffs. The Suns, when Kevin Durant has played, have also been a very good basketball team too. So the thing is that the Lakers are going to have some sort of edge. And going to a lonely team like the Wizards out east, a team that isn't necessarily competing. In fact, they're doing the opposite. They are tanking. Going after Jonas Valanciunas or even a Kyle Kuzma, he's been rumored to come back to LA as well. That's a good team to look at. But a lot of teams are going to be looking to be buyers, not sellers at the deadline. So the Lakers might have to pony up a little bit. But I do think that Gabe Vincent, 2 seconds for Valanciunas, is a deal that makes a lot of sense for both teams. Again, Wizards get something for Jonas. Lakers get rid of Gabe Vincent, who, while he had a nice game against Utah, let's be honest, guys, Gabe has not been very good for the Los Angeles Lakers since he's been here, whether he's been hurt or whether he's been healthy. I've been calling him Cardio Gabe for a reason. You guys have been asking me, maybe we'll drop some merch for Cardio Gabe. I said I'd hold off because he had a good game, but the whole team stunk in this one, so perhaps not. But I think the Lakers need some form of a move to rejuvenate their team. They might need a couple, unless they make a crazy move and get a big-time player that I'm not expecting. I think a couple moves could potentially get them over the hump because really outside of their top guys, it hasn't been great. They're not a very deep team, and they're going to need some more help. And I think Jonas Valanciunas is a realistic candidate that can help them now and potentially get them over the hump in the Western Conference. But let me know down below in the comments, guys, what you think. This was a rough game to watch. I was pretty miserable watching it, and it was pretty sad and embarrassing. They still have 2 more games on this road trip against the Miami Heat on Wednesday and then the Atlanta Hawks on Friday, or if not, I'm mixing those up. But 2 more games out on the East Coast, down south. If they win those, they go 2-2 on this road trip. They end up being 14-9, and that's not too bad. But they're going to have to win these ones in order to be looking in a solid position in the Western Conference. But let me know down below. What do you think? Subscribe. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. Subscribe. Reach that platinum status with this channel. You're already watching the videos. Just subscribe. And I promise you guys, the Lakers might be doing bad, but we doing good here on Lakers Digest.